Go to Miss Henderson room. Tell her we ready.
Play, big, idea, down.
She right here.
How long you been teaching football?
10 years.
10 years.
All right. All right, so we're going to look at the bell ringer for today. Finished now?
What time do you come to
Anybody else want me to check there before we go over?
You check mine, too?
Okay. We spiral notes here.
And your phone?
So where's your work?
What they going on in the orange shirt? What they going
Like
on?
right here. Where did you find that today?
Because you
You don't know?
like,
So what
what time is it?
right? But I take my line sheet and tip. Is that gonna help you?
No, it's in the month.
I'll try it again. Next time, you keep your paper put up. Because you're not a friend to nobody, you just let them copy you because you know if they don't. Okay? That's not helping anybody. You go to jail, that's called aid in abetting assessment. Anybody else? You done? Want me to check? You ready? You done? No? Y'all done? Baby, sit down. It's 1:30. They'll call you when it's time for you to go. You done? All right. So let's look at the first problem. Kyra, read it for me. The first problem.
Write and evaluate the quotient of 10 and 2 plus 3.
Okay. So we're gonna write it first because the first thing says write. So how do we write that? What does quotient mean, Christopher? Divide. What am I going to divide, Chris?
10 divided by 2
Okay.
plus 3.
All right. Miss Sweet, what's 10 divided by 2? 5. What's 5 plus 3, Miss Flags?
8.
8. The answer to number 1 is 8. Okay. Quotient means divide. The quotient of 10 and 2, so that's 10 divided by 2, plus 3. Everybody got that? Yes, sir. Go get your notebook from off my thing. What does quotient mean? When you see quotient, what are you going to do? It's right there, Mr. Qualls. You see on the top black on my desk. On my desk. Okay, see the there you go.
Yes.
Just move my phone out the way. Huh? you're going to divide. When you see the word quotient, you are going to divide. Okay? All right, number 2, Sean.
There are 128 pins in a full box. How many pins are in 35 full boxes?
Okay, so you have 128 pins in one box. So 128 in this box, right? That's one box. How many boxes do you have? 35 of them. So what are you going to do? Multiply. So 128 times 35. All right, what does that equal? 4,480 pins. Okay. Are you supposed to divide here? No, you can't divide because what? You already know how many pins in one box. Okay? If you know how many is in one, you multiply to find how many is in 5 more, 6 more, 10 more, 12 more, Anthony. Okay? That's the answer to number 2. How do we know to multiply, Francesca? Because if you get another problem like this, how are you going to know that you need to multiply? What are you going to see? Yes. Huh? Well, besides the numbers, you got to see something else. You got to see some keywords or something. Oh, okay. I don't know whoever told y'all how many. How many doesn't mean anything. Unless you know how many what. Like if you say how many pins, then you should know to multiply because I'm trying to figure out how many pins are in all these boxes. So we need a lot, right? It wouldn't be a small amount because there's 128 in one box. Okay? So not how many, but you can say how many pins in 35 boxes. Okay, those are your keywords. How many pins in 35 full boxes? Okay, you know how many pins are in one box, 128 in a full box. Okay, number 3, Aisha. Eleven words. Essay. You do well, but no. Okay, so Sydney has an essay. Her essay got 583 words. Are we gonna multiply? No, because we already know how many words her essay has, right? We don't want to get a bigger answer because she doesn't have the 583 words. So we're gonna take these 583 words and we're gonna split them into what? 11 words per line. Every line. You remember the word every from yesterday? It said every was division, right? Every line. So that means each line has 11 words. So how many lines would make up the 583 words? Okay. How many lines did you have? So that's 583 divided by 11, which is what?
0.
Huh?
53 or 0?
53. Can't be 0, baby. 53 lines. See, your question says, how many lines long is Sydney's essay? That's the question you're answering. Could her essay be 0 lines? No, because she got 583 words, so it's got to have some lines in it. Okay, 53 lines. All right. Roberto. Number 4. Number 4. Right here. That's number 4. All right, 6 centimeters long, 2 centimeters wide, and 4 centimeters high. And what is the volume of the box? Volume equals length times width times height. Right? So what are we going to multiply if volume equals length times width times height? We're going to multiply what? 6 times 4 times 2, which is what? 48 centimeters cubed. 48 centimeters cubed because, right? 6 times 4 is 24. 24 times 2 is 48. And we have centimeters, centimeters, and centimeters. That's 3 centimeters, right? That's why it's to the third power. Centimeters to the third power. Volume is always to the third power. Area is to the second power. Because area is just length times width, just 2. Okay? Lauren, number 5.
There are 16 ounces in a pound. How many ounces are in a pound?
Or in 10.5 pounds. Right? Okay. So 1 pound is how many ounces? 1 pound is 16 ounces. How many of these do we have? 10. So 16 times 10 is what? 160. Then I still got a half of a pound. So 1/2 times 16 is what? What's 1/2 times 16? 8. So 160 plus 8 is what? 168. 168 ounces. 10 of those we got. Now, 16 times 10, because 10.5 is what kind of number? 10.5. What kind of number is that? A mixed number. So it's got a whole part and it's got a fraction, right? So I'm going to multiply the whole part by 16 and the fraction by 16. And then add them together. And that's how I can get my answer.
Like, how is 16 times a half equal 8?
Oh, 8 make it 16 fraction.
One times 16 is 16. 2 times 1 is 2. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. Just divide fractions. You know, when you divide fractions, you just divide. When you multiply fractions, just multiply straight across. 1 times 16, and then 2 times 1. Just straight across. That's all. If it's a whole number, you always put it over 1. Anything divided by 1 is itself, right? So that's why 16 over 1 is a fraction. For 16. Okay. Anybody have a question? No question? You shaking your head. Tell me what's.
So you just multiply 16 times 2. This how? Not divide. This how you do it.
When you have a large number on top of a little number, because this bar right here is a fraction bar. This fraction bar means to divide. That's a fraction bar. It means to divide. Okay, so that's 16 divided by 2. How many 2s are in 16? You got 8 2s in 16. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay. Okay, how many people had at least 4 checks? Yeah. 6 people had 4 checks. not working?
I had
All in one. All your
Still not working.
That mean
What?
that mean wrong.
What?
That mean wrong.
When I check their paper.
Sit down.
Yes, ma'am.
You have Ariel Hagan.
Yes.
I need her ready to go.
Okay. And
She next door, mom, go get her.
I get. Ready? Let me see. Where they at? I didn't say you had right. I said you had 4 checks. So you did get 3 right, but you didn't finish. And did I skip anybody? You? Well, you better raise your hand, little girl. Okay. Gotta work hard. Gotta try. Right? That's all you can do. Is try. All right. Now, we're going to go over the pre-test. I have some kids that did great on the pre-test. If you got at least 6 right, that's a 60. So you'll also get a noun later. Kiana, Sydney, Jacayla, Jacoby, Mansour, Kyra, Kyra got 8 right. Jamila, Chris, Dennis, Lanaya, Aisha, Clarence, Kiana, Shania, Kiriana, Shanti, Francesca, Dante, Roberto, Jason, Anthony,
You got 1 right. I got 1 right too.
Lauren, Sean, the checks are right. You got those right. You got the check. Yeah, if nothing is there, then it's not right. So we're going to go over the correct answer.
Are you finna go over there now? Okay.
Yeah, I check.
Okay, because I told you to check.
Did they get the other?
Yeah, they got all
Got
those.
that, okay,
Yeah. I just found to get them to do it.
okay. All right, so talk to the people that's in your group and see why you missed the problems that you missed. See if y'all can come up with why you missed the problem or what you need to do. You don't have a paper, that means you didn't turn in one yesterday. Because I gave it to y'all yesterday.
At least I didn't ain't go right. I mean, too, like, yeah, it is what it is. They probably 25 cups.
So where is it?
I had a chicken look on
You don't know where it is?
So this is 24 cups. See, I just didn't do it.
Can anybody check to see if
Nobody can. I saw you
if Mr. Morris placed under y'all's paper? Like if I misplaced a paper? Oh, it doesn't matter. You just want people to share them, right?
You
So we got 3 paper cards.
you silly.
Like, say,
She is silly. She said my name silly. She said my name silly with the C. Silly. She said in the library. She said my name silly.
Cindy with a C.
You said it.
Okay, because my first letter of my name so
you think it's all the A's.
Here you go.
That looks like I know. Like you. I just did like this and
you trying to keep calling.
You are, they don't need to fight.
You got some help.
if you don't fight girls, you know. Because some of these boys just fight girls. I wish you would. Because you're supposed to fight no girl. None of these boys can. Especially that boy like that. He's trying. Go, he said. No, he said.
I got radio.
I got one answer, at least I got two right. We got that 6 pounds with the Earl ears.
It's like a pig with no tail.
We like a pig in a plate.
Like a turtle with no neck.
Who you said?
You know who he look like?
Like a pig with no tail.
That man on the speaker with me.
Hey, don't worry about that.
You know the speaker man on the speaker with that bald head. That's what he look like.
Mr. Wilson.
I ain't talking about him. I'm talking about this man.
You like a turtle with no head.
You like the man.
You all are supposed to be going over you're supposed to be going over your work to see why you got it wrong with the people that's in your group. You're not supposed to
Look like a duck.
Dude, be quiet. What you like milk with the
It's like a duck with no mouth. It's like a duck with no poop, with no arms. I ain't know. You like a dog with no tail. Like a cat with no head. Like a chicken with no head.
But you like a dog.
You think about with no tail.
If Jacoria and y'all black clothes, Mr. Cool's gonna keep it.
Boy, you like a piece of dog. You like a piece of dog. You like a
You're like a piece with no backbone. You're like a cat with no head. You're like a frog with no mouth.
You like that fire. You like that. You like that white person.
You like a mouth. You're like a mouth with no teeth. You're like a mouth with no teeth, boy.
Boy, you like a big with no teeth.
You're like a bird with no teeth. You're like a bird with no ears. Like big and no teeth. You're like a dog with teeth.
Dennis, you wasn't helping this man. That was
Look at that little short orange strip. It has too much butter on it. There's so much butter on it. Shanti, it has so much butter. It's on orange. Shanti. That tea has so much butter on it. It tastes orange.
What?
Always got pieces off of
They're on my toe too. They're on my teeth like that.
What did he say? We trying to do our work.
I already told him.
I know. He said Google bye bye. You the one on Despicable Me. Shanti. You don't want to smell your corn and feet.
You like somebody else that never did you.
What about that person on Despicable Me that's bad? You don't got no hair, boy. You put that weave in your head. They been sticking weave in your head. Put that glue and been putting weave in your head. And been cutting it. Like you got and fake all that. watch the show.
Let's look at the problem on the board for the from the free
You're like a soldier with no face. You're like a butterfly with no wings.
No. Be quiet. Just be quiet.
What do he look like?
All right, so let's look at the first problem. All right, it says Thomas has 1.5 gallons of milk. How many cups of milk does he have? All right, 1 gallon is 16 cups, right? A half of a gallon is how many cups? If 1 is 6, if 1 is 16, what's the half? 8. So 16 plus 8 is what? 24. So that's the answer to the first. So you need to make sure you work it out on your paper so you can understand what it is you need to be doing. So when you see these kind of questions again, you'll know what to do. So go ahead and write the correct answer down.
Right, go back. Go back. You had it right.
Where? Oh, y'all was okay the first time? Oh, okay.
Stand right there. Right there.
You go see your devil? Well, stay right there.
All right. So, okay. So, how many cups of milk is in 1.5 gallons? 24. How many cups of milk would be in 2 gallons?
32.
Huh? 32. Because 16 times 2 is 32. How many cups of milk will be in 10 gallons?
42.
160. Okay. So all you have to do is multiply by what? 16. Right? To figure out, because if you know there are 16 cups in 1 gallon.
You like some
All right. Number 2.
You're going to talk to they supposed to be able to hear you, right?
Yes. Can y'all not hear me?
I don't know if you said anything yet. Did you say anything? But they were talking something.
I was about to say they were talking to me, but after I went over number 1, that was it. All right. Number 2. Nicholas stacks 2 layers of 4 unit cubes to fill a small box. How many cubes are in the box? What is the volume of the box? All right. So. All right. So we're going to stack 2 layers of 4 cubes. Okay, this is 4 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he does that what? Twice. So we'll do another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if he stacks 2 layers of 4, how many cubes do I have up there? 8. So my volume is 8 because there are 8 cubes, okay, in this space. Okay, so I have 2 answers. It says how many cubes are in this box? 8. What is the volume? 8 cubic units. Because when we talk about volume, we always talk about cubic. That means 3 units. Okay. Anybody got a question about that? All right. The volume of a rectangular prism is 48 cubic meters. Its height is 2. Its length is 3. What's the width? Okay, so 48 is the total. That's what I want, right? I know I have 2 and I have 3. 2 times 3 is what? 6. 6 times what? 48. 6 times 8. So 8 is my missing number. So 8 is my width, 8 meters. Okay, because 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, you better get that. No questions about that. It's just like a reverse. If you know 3 numbers, you multiply all 3. If you know 2 numbers, you multiply those, then divide by your answer to get the other part, the missing part.
So you gotta time 48 times 8.
You gotta times 2, 3, and 8 to get 48. Okay, you got to multiply the 2, the 3, and the 8 because when you talk about volume, you talk about 3 things: a length, a width, a height. Right here, we only had 2, so we had to figure out the 3rd thing. Okay. Okay. It says Mansour uses the shorthand form to multiply decimals and products of 10. What is the product of that? Okay, so do you know what shorthand form means? Shorthand form means I'm just going to move a decimal, right? 10 to the 5th power is what? What's 10 to the 5th power? That means 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. What is that? Okay, so 10 times 10 is what?
20.
100. Okay. 100 times 10 is what?
300.
1,000. 1,000 times 10, 10,000. 10,000 times 10,
100,000.
100,000. So 100,000 has 5 zeros, right? So I'm going to take this decimal and I'm going to move it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if I don't have anything in the spaces, I'm going to put a what? 0. Okay, my decimal is at the end now. So since my decimal is at the end, this is my number, 50,000. All I had to do was move this decimal 5 spaces to the right because I'm multiplying. That's what shorthand means. You don't have to multiply it out. All you gotta do is move that decimal to the right and you got your answer. Okay? Same thing here. except we already got two numbers already, right? So we're gonna move it 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This number is what? What number is that? 5,000. Okay, that's 5,000. So that's all you had to do. Not hard, was it?
No.
I'm talking about the
5, 4. Say what now?
I said that about the is.
Oh yeah. All right, turn over to the next page. Yep. You don't have to do things. We don't have homework on Friday. Okay. Leave that here. And I'll see you Monday, okay? You have a good weekend. All right, let's go to the next page. See you later. All right. All right. What decimal represents this number? All right. All right. I have 6 times 1,000. What's that? 6,000. 2 times 10. 20. 3 times 1/10. 3 tenths. 5 times 1,000. 5,000. Right? So I got 6,000 plus 20. That's my whole number. What's 6,000 plus 20? 6,020. Then this is my decimal, so this goes behind the decimal. I got 3 tenths and 5,000. Do I have any hundred? No. So I need a 0 here. 3 tenths, 0 hundredths, 5,000. Yes.
I got that right.
And you get it right. You get it.
Oh, I thought those shit was
No.
that.
Yes.
So, I guess the decimals and then it's a fraction.
Decimals and fractions are the same thing. Okay. Go sit right there. Yes, right there. Here you go. Right there.
Real?
Right there. Sit right there for me. All right. So, Lanaya asked me a question. She says, so these are decimals. Is that true?
Yeah.
Right? Aren't fractions and decimals the same thing? 3 tenths, that's 3 tenths, right? 0 hundredths, 0 hundredths. 5 thousandths, 5 thousandths. So I can take my fraction and I can change it to a decimal. Right? Because fractions and decimals are part of a whole. Okay? Your whole part always goes in front of the decimal. Anything that's a part or that's a decimal goes behind the decimal point. That means it's not necessarily a whole number. It's part of a whole number. You get it? Okay. The next question says, Emily's living room is 9 5/6 feet wide. Jason's living room is 7 1/3 feet wide. How much wider is Emily's living room than Jason's living room? If I want to know how much wider, what am I asking you to do? Subtract. I can't add it together because that's going to give me how long both of them are together. It's not a multiplication problem. How much wider, how much shorter, how much taller, how much longer, how much more, all of that means subtract. Now, how do you subtract fractions? You have to find a what? Common denominator. The common denominator between 6 and 3 is 6. So 3 times what is 6?
3.
3 times what?
2.
2. So 1 times 2 is 2. So 1/3 is the same thing as 2/6, right? Same thing. 5/6 is the same thing as what? 5/6. So 5 take away 2 is 3. 9 take away 7 is 2. So 2 and 3/6. Which 3/6 is 1/2. So that's why I put 2 1/2. Because 3 is half of 6. Right? Okay. Any questions about that one? Okay. 5 friends are equally sharing 3 packs of football cards. How much of a pack will each friend get? Okay. If I have 5 people, that's going to share 3. So 5 is at the bottom. 3 is at the top. So they're going to get 3/5 of a pack. Y'all said 15. Where did y'all get 15 from?
Yeah.
Y'all did 5 times 3?
Yes.
Why? Because it says equally share. You remember on the thing we did yesterday? When it says equally share, what are we doing? Dividing, right? So since equally share means divide, we're going to share 3 packs with 5 people. What?
I was looking at the Bible.
Equally, there it is. Equally share. They just didn't put the word share. Equally share.
I didn't know you can do that.
YouTube.
I see. That's crazy though. It's kind of scary.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Can you just show me to be very
Careful. I'm telling you.
That's crazy. Wow.
That's why people can do stuff, and you just don't know.
I'm shocked, man. I was just. They thought I was going looking at the list, and I was just like, how did that happen?
It takes 24 hours for you to activate an account.
Right.
After that, you can stream. So my thing is that means anybody anywhere could start like chiming in. Yeah, if they can find what I'm doing.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that means it's still out there. So if somebody
it's
if they wanted to go back,
like a cloud. If they wanted to go home
and look at it, all they gotta do is find me.
You. It is there. Wow.
That's kind of scary though, because whatever you say, somebody is hearing it too. So yeah, don't go look me up, because we doing it in class. But seriously, if you wanted to go see it, you could go to Tasha Thompson and look up the videos that we have been doing. You could. All right. Yeah. I didn't even know. All right. The last 2. All right. Says, what is the area of a paper strip with a width of 1/3 yard and a length of 1/6 yard? Area is length times width, right? I'm gonna multiply 2 things here. No, you don't. Yeah, I'm sorry. We just came from the bathroom at 1, and it's probably 2. That's an hour. You haven't even had anything to drink. Hurry up, Miss Sweet. All right. So 1/3 times 1/6 is 1/18. That's all you have to do. Just area. Some people did 2/9. I guess you added, but you don't add area. Area means multiply. You multiply the length and the width. Just touch it.
What the word?
Yeah. All right. The next one, if you multiply 6 by a factor less than 1. Now, a factor is just another number that you can multiply by, okay? What are the factors of 7? What are the factors of 7? 1 and 7. What are the factors of 12? 1 and 12, 6 and 2, 3 and 4. That's just a factor, right? Okay, so what can I multiply by 6 So my product can be less than 6. It says multiply 6 by a factor less than 1. How many numbers are less than 1?
1, 0. Negative.
All decimals are less than 1. All fractions are less than 1. So 0 is not the only number that's less than 1. 1/2 is less than 1, right? 3/4, 2/5, 5/6, 17/20.
17/20.
Okay, that's a fraction. 17 out of 20, that's a fraction. Okay, so all of that is less than 1. So if you multiply 6 by anything less than 1, you're going to get a number less than 6 every time. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's less than 1, your answer is going to be less than whatever number you started with. Okay? Now, if you multiply by a number greater than 1, your answer is going to be greater than that number. Okay? And the last one. Write a numerical expression to represent 2 times the difference of 8 and 1. Okay, so 2 times, that means I'm going to multiply and subtract. So I'm going to do 2 parentheses 8 minus 1. What is 8 minus 1? 7. 2 times that is 14.
On this one, I want some
Where? That was right. Was supposed to multiply. See, you need 1/3 times 1/6. You got 1/18. That's right. Like right here, I know all y'all did was subtract 5 minus 20. You got 4, 6, 1. Yeah, you can't subtract. They got 5. So make sure you write down the correct answer. Anybody have a question? All right. I have a all right. Let's look at this right here. I have a problem with not being able to see something like volume.
We can't see it.
I can't see it.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know why I can't understand volume like this. But I'm just trying to think about it. Okay, so if volume has to do with area, right? The only difference between volume and area is the height of something. So just say I did an array. If I do a 3 by 3, what is 3 by 3? How much is that? 3 by 3. 3 by 3. 9, right? All right, so here's a 3 by 3. What kind of shape is this? What kind of shape is that? Huh? All right. It's a square. How do you know it's a square?
It's shaped like it.
All sides are the same length, right? Across the top is 3, down is 3, the bottom is 3, and that side is 3. So this is a square. It's a 3 by 3.
And it's an easy way to do 3 times.
All right. So if I did this twice, bring me some more of those, Jay. Just say I did this twice. I want it 3 times high. What would my area? What would my volume be? If I did this, y'all know the bottom was 9, right?
12.
Huh? Would it be 9 times 3?
Oh, no.
No.
It'll be 9.
What would it be?
9 times
9.
2. That's 18.
Remember, I said it's 3 high. I stacked it 3 high.
Oh,
It is 9.
well.
How much?
9
27?
Yeah, that's
Why 27?
9.
9 times 3, right?
Yeah.
So how wide is it? How wide is it?
27.
No. How wide is this?
3.
3. How long is it?
3.
And how high is it? 3. So then that means 27 blocks here, right? Either it don't matter how you look at it. Okay? Because I stacked it 3 by 3 at the bottom. I stacked it 3 high and 3 wide. So 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Right? Okay, so that's how you find volume. That's what volume means. See, I had a problem with that until I started looking at it this way. Because I couldn't see it in my head. But volume always, especially if you have like a cube, all sides are the same. Okay? But if you had a different type, you know, sometimes they look different, like they look long on one part, they stack up another part, and then they wide another part. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Okay? But that's all volume is. I want to know how wide it is, how long it is, and then how high up it is. And all you do is multiply those 3 numbers together, and that will give you your volume. Okay? And all volume is how much space, how much something occupies. All right. Jayla, bring that so I can give these back. All right, Sydney, take up my papers for me. Okay. Anybody have a question? All right, Sydney, got everybody's paper? How about 10 more times with it?
Hold up. It's 239.
39.
This computer.
That's what I think it's almost big.
You got one more.
Let me get the camera.
You see? No. Move back. So it's 24 minutes there. Okay, thank you. All right, so next week, everybody should have a spiral notebook. Mr. Cooley has your folder. Next week you will have homework starting on Monday. And remember, the homework is due by Friday. This probably should have went to your band teacher.
You trying to give it to our teachers. Y'all gonna get it to them. No, you can take it to them or get it to them too.
So how you gonna get it back for Monday? You don't need it. The band teacher I give it to the band teacher.
You can take it to them. Hey, Mister.
Let me eat.